He stood at the window thinking about the butterfly effect, how one flap of a wing could change the whole of humanity. Suddenly he heard a knock on the door. He turned around anxiously. Behind the door he was told that it was better for him if he opened the door. The knocking continued. He just hated that stalker girl. The girl stabbed a sharp knife into the door and said, "Then I'll cut my way through." The guy wasn't exactly thrilled. The girl shredded the door with the knife in quick movements, and the door was about to fall apart. It was the student president's consul who spectacularly barged into his room. She asked why he was avoiding her for the 32nd time. She said she asked the question and continued, "Will you marry me?" The guy hesitated and a voice came from the window. "What are you talking about? Thinking that you can take away a man who is already taken? Did they teach you that in your family?" Another girl showed up and said this place was too bright for a killer. Too many witnesses. The girl with the ears said murder was her credo. The guy exclaimed, "Stop. I'm very uncomfortable right now. I'm not even thinking about getting married." Suddenly bursting through the roof of the ceiling, another girl appeared. They were experiencing different emotions at this moment. It was a beautiful girl who offered him to live with her. The girl said, "The wedding preparations are almost complete, so all you have to do is come with me." The girl vehemently stated, "How rude." The girl said, "What is he going to do day in and day out surrounded by these snobs? As your fiancé, I can't allow that." Another girl with horns on her broom appeared, and she told all the jealous girls to shut up. She said he was her fiancé. The girls took the whole thing as a competition and all in one voice tried to convince him to marry them. It seems the girls were ready to fight for him. And so begins our love story. The survival game put me in that situation. Is called Savior Rising, or SR for short. A fresh and youthful academy story for fresh young adults. It gives off some weeboo vibes, but the characters are familiar and stable. As usual, I cleared the game and saw the ending. I thought it was fun and felt accomplished. But then I was swept away the next day. Tada! Does that make sense? Hey, it's not like I swore at the game and was targeted by some godlike developer. I wasn't attached to the protagonist either. Anyway, I possessed Daud Campbell. He doesn't have even the slightest bit of power, and is a no-name Viscount's heir. He is a third-rate extra in this world. Farming is the main industry in the Campbell Viscounty. There are also no dungeons, which are found throughout the empire. It was barely mentioned in SR feature film. Therefore, a Viscount's son entering the Imperial Academy was a story flipped the world upside down. Father said, "You're finally leaving us." Dud. "Yes, father, I'm leaving," said the boy. "You're our pride." Father said, "Don't get into trouble. The best thing you can do is not to attract attention," continued the father. The son understood. Daud had all the characteristics of a level F, no special skills or prowess. And his main quest was to enter the academy. Based on the game system, if you don't fulfill the quest, it's game over. Since Elfante Academy, which I will be entering, will fall into chaos due to the violence of the villains, I won't do anything that will endanger my survival. He asked his father not to worry. "I'll do whatever is required of me and I won't attract attention." His father said that's not what he meant. "I will also keep my grades below average." Okay, that's not what I wanted. Won't the protagonist just do everything on her own? Not drawing attention to myself is what a self-made loner should do. My academy life has begun. But from the start, why am I in the same carriage as her? Elnore the bloodthirsty. Elnore the one with a mountain of corpses. So is the final boss of this world. In the scenarios, she and the protagonist keep fighting and her sanity crumbles. The dormant existence of the gray demon devours Elnore's body and turns her into the final boss that no one but the protagonist who has completed her final development can fight. "Do you need a doctor? Your complexion doesn't look good," said Elnore. "No, I'm fine," said the boy. The Tristan dukedom seems to be highly concerned about their image. Me sitting here instead of in first class was a calculated decision made to show that we're approachable as a high-ranking, noble family. "I'm sorry for worrying you," she said. "Everyone who travels in the same carriage as me makes the same expression. She's different from what I remember." The keywords: used to describe Elnore were meritocratic, perfectionist, and audacious. What does this sensitive side of her mean? The girl asked. Why? Aren't you replying? Are you curious about something else? No, it's all right, the guy replied. You're unexpectedly kind. Unexpectedly? Asked Elnore. Do people say bad things about me? Or have we met before? The boy said he'd heard she was quite strict. She said he was a strange person. The guy replied that he hears that a lot. The guy was saying in his head, I'm an extra. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. I should be quiet and look outside. Come. To think of it, the surrounding scenery is magnificent. Boulders are rolling towards. What the fuck? The kid saw something in the window. He turned to the teacher. He quickly grabbed her, and then a huge meteorite hit the train and a pendant appeared that worked as a shield that protected them from the meteorite. Elnore had him the whole time. The guy might not have survived with his low stats, but thanks to her, he's alive. She asked if he was okay, he said yes. She asked him to get off her because he was heavy. He saw her in all her glory and was terrified. He got up off her and tried to apologize. The girl said it's okay, he was trying to save her. She said it was her first time being so close to a man, but thanked him for his good intentions. The boy thought, I jumped her to take advantage of her armor. Elnore asked his name. The boy thought, why does she ask if I answer her? I'll bump into her more often. So he answered his name was Daud. She said she wouldn't forget what he did for her and would repay him later. The guy got the achievement and the new desperate survival and deadly charm. The meteorite crushed the entire train and an ambulance on horseback had already arrived. The doctor praises the special safety measures, which is why there were so few casualties. The injured people were sent out on horseback. He received a special gift number 1 fated attraction. As you receive more interest from those who have evil traits, you will receive various rewards. The guy thought, and oh wonder, I couldn't discover the condition no matter what I did. In the Campbell Viscounty, forget about evil traits. It's hard to find anyone who's neutral in that happy-go-lucky place. Of course, the gift wasn't unlocked. Should I check what I got? Skill, desperate survival. Rank, unknown. Your stats, increase in times of need. Effect scales relative to danger. Skill, deadly charm. Rank unknown. It is easier to gain interest from those who have evil traits. The more extreme the situation, the stronger the effect. Desperate survival will definitely come in handy during battle and help me survive. On the other hand, deadly charm. Can I really have this? Evil traits. The characters in this game who have evil traits. A warrior who goes crazy for a fight. A mentally deranged sword god who cuts down anyone who gets within 3 steps of her. A violent assassin who kills anyone if paid. A genius mage whose senses are dull to everything. All annoying humans. But isn't it fine right now? It's important for me to gain skills that will help with my survival. What I find strange is that the skill rank is labeled as. The doctor asked him if he was okay and if he needed a psych evaluation. The guy said he was fine. The guy got off the carriage and exhaled. The man thanks all the students for coming here. He was addressed with the words, Student, I heard you were riding with the Tristan princess? He replied, Yes. You're a Viscount's son with no connections, though? The doctor in the carriage said, I'm also an Elfante alumnus and also from an no-name noble family. Do you think it was a coincidence that the boulder was aimed at your carriage out of so many? The guy didn't know what to answer. The Tristan dukedom has many enemies. It would be best for you to avoid her from now on. You're going to get hurt if you hang around those high-ranking nobles. I'll keep that in mind, the guy replied. My ass. I'm already involved with her even if I don't want, the guy thought. In this academy filled with slander, it's not surprising that she's a candidate to be the final boss. Just standing next to her will bring death like breathing. A man addressed him, Why are you spacing out? Another man added, Hee hee. Look at that country bumpkin. Everyone has formed sparring pairs except for you. That's right. After the entrance ceremony, the practical evaluation starts right away. Your opponent has been automatically decided, the guy said. The guy asked, I'm sorry, who did I match with? If everyone has picked their opponents, the person who's left over must be the strongest. A red-haired girl appeared before him. The guy was stunned. Her name was Elnore Elinarize, the greatest genius in the world. In the future, she will become the savior. The girl asked, Do you need help getting up? No, I'm fine, the guy said. This was the protagonist of Savior Rising. She extended her hand to him. I'm done for, the guy thought. She was simply unbelievably beautiful, 10 out of 10. Count Crixon and Marcus had just arrived. The girl said, Has she lost her mind? The duels are still going on. How could she be late? A man asked, When will Lady Tristan arrive? And then she appeared behind him. It was clear she had just been in a fight. The girl had many questions for her. But first, she asked, Where were you? Handling some matters, she replied. Sorry, but I think she and I have to deal with something first. Is anyone dead? Not many, just around 12. They were there to assassinate me. They dropped a boulder on the train and tried to pass it off as an accident. I found out who they were, and I happened to be nearby, so I killed them. You should have left something like that to the school. That annoying? Or do you expect me to be just and perfect like everyone else? Someone who has to forgive those who try to kill me. All right, but get changed first. The entrance duels are going on. If you go now, you will see Elia, 1 in a million genius. Elnore Elinarize and Daud. What the hell is this? Daud Campbell? She asked. Yes, him. How do you know him? He seemed completely unremarkable. That guy is quite odd. The battle began. He stood in front of the girl. His hands, along with his sword, were trembling because his skills were extremely low. But his survival skill had activated, which might help him stay alive. The crowd screamed, eager for a spectacle. The girl looked at him and he at her. She asked him to be honest, was he really this weak? The guy hesitated, and she realized she was right. She was ready to beat him, but he was so weak. You were with that Tristan girl. I hate her. Not just her, but the entire Tristan house. Those people are absolute demons. She's bold for saying that, the guy thought. Based on history, she had plenty of reasons to hate the Tristans. You reminded me of her, and that pissed me off. So I'm going to hurt you. Should we just pretend to fight? The guy said she didn't need to hold back. Because I like Lady Tristan. The girl asked, Are you serious? The guy replied, As much as you hate her. The girl said, Then I won't regret this. She lunged at him and smashed his wooden sword. His face, it was something else. She was surprised that he managed to dodge, so he wasn't that weak after all. Then she used a little more strength and attacked again. Suddenly, his EX rank survival skill activated. He felt power surge through his arm, and he punched her straight in the jaw. The girl realized during the strike that it was X rank. The guy, although he responded with a blow, had fear and surprise in his eyes. Could it really be the highest rank? She was sent flying very quickly. His face expressed either fear or rage, but on the faces of the spectators it was definitely fear. On his first day at Elnore Academy, he successfully faced the world's main character. The first possibility is that Daud Kid is a proficient fraud. Your opinion of him changed quickly, Conrad. Either way, this doesn't make sense. All of you with insight must know. He had absolutely no combat skills or powers before the duel. But that strike was definitely real. What do you mean it was real? The girl asked. I'm saying that nobody in Elnore would be okay after taking that hit, starting with me. The potential chances of him beating the potential future warrior, Elnore Elinarize, were 0. But through an illegal substance or tool by some method, he managed to increase his power temporarily. The other possibility is that he is an absolutely monstrous genius. But it's difficult to accept his victory as is. Margrave Kindred, Elias' sponsor, won't just stand idly by. But it will be a great loss for the Academy to ignore a student with great potential. It will soon be obvious if he really is a fraud. So let's just see what unfolds. What do you mean by that? There are a lot of interesting new admissions. This year, there are some unique, enough that they need special treatment. If this student really is something special, as you say, I'm sure there'll be a role for him to play. He made it into the news feed with his beautiful face and attracted the attention of the whole world. Now he's a new star. The news, both back where I was and in this game. Are they serious? He received information from Lady Elnore, his trust level increased, and he gained points. So it goes. From curiosity, to interest, then trust. And the points I received can be used in the points store. He said, the one with the highest curiosity is Elnore. But why does the final boss, who should have absolutely no interest in me, have so much? He received trait. Tristan's sword technique received from the Great House Tristan, famous for their swordsmen. What the F? The problem is that their house is involved with demons. But fuck it, whatever. Suddenly, he heard a knock on the door. Someone asked if this was Daud Campbell's room. It was Crixanax, and she asked for permission to enter. The guy thought that maybe if he didn't respond, she would just leave. She said she knew he was there, and if he didn't open the door, she would break it down. He asked if she had gone mad. The girl remarked, "So, you were in there after all." She asked him to open the door because she had something to say. "What could it be?" the guy said. The girl replied that things had turned out this way, so maybe they should get to know each other better.